published 0823 est, the 24th of November 2017, updated 1503 est, the 24th of November 2017. Egyptians walk past bodies following a bomb and gun assault at the Rada Mosque, near the North Sinai capital of El Arish, that killed at least 235 worshippers. Attackers killed at least 235 worshippers Friday in a bomb and gun assault on a packed mosque in Egypt's rest of North Sinai province, in the country's deadliest attack in recent memory. A bomb explosion ripped through the Rada Mosque, frequented by Sufis, roughly 40 kilometers 25 miles west of the North Sinai capital of El Arish, before gunmen opened fire on those gathered for weekly Friday prayers, officials said. Witnesses said the assailants surrounded the mosque with all-terrain vehicles and then planted a bomb outside. The gunmen then mowed down the panicked worshippers as they tried to flee and used the congregants' vehicles they had set alight to block routes to the mosque. The state prosecutor's office said in a statement that 235 people were killed and 109 wounded in the attack, the scale of which is unprecedented in a four-year insurgency by Islamist extremist groups. U.S. President Donald Trump condemned on Twitter the horrible and cowardly terrorist attack on innocent and defenseless worshippers. A furious Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi declared 3 days of mourning and pledged to respond with brutal force. The army and police will avenge our martyrs and return security and stability with force in the coming short period, he added in a televised speech. Russian President Vladimir Putin sent condolences to Sisi, calling the attack striking for its cruelty and cynicism, while condemnations poured in from Israel, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia and other countries. UK Foreign Minister Boris Johnson decried the barbaric attack, while his French counterpart Jean-Yves Le Drian labelled it despicable. Pope Francis and Egypt's highest Muslim religious authority joined in the condemnation. His Holiness joins all people of goodwill in imploring that hearts hardened by hatred will learn to renounce the way of violence, the Pope's office said. The Grand Imam of Cairo's Al-Azhar, Sheikh Ahmed El-Tayyib, condemned in the strongest terms this barbaric terrorist attack. His targeting of Sufis. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the bloodshed. The Islamic State group's Egypt branch has killed hundreds of policemen and soldiers, and also civilians accused of working with the authorities, in attacks in the north of the Sinai Peninsula. They have also targeted followers of the mystical Sufi branch of Sunni Islam as well as Christians. The victims of Friday's attack included civilians and conscripts praying at the mosque. A tribal leader and head of a Bedouin militia that fights IS told AFP that the mosque is known as a place where Sufis gather. The Islamic State group shares the Puritan Salafi view that Sufis are heretics for seeking intercession of saints. View of the Rada Mosque, roughly 40 kilometers west of the North Sinai capital of El Arish, after a bloody gun and bombing attack, on November 24, 2017. The jihadists had previously kidnapped and beheaded an elderly Sufi leader, accusing him of practicing magic which Islam forbids, and abducted Sufi practitioners later released after repenting. And his propaganda outlet had published an interview earlier with the commander of its morality police in Sinai, who said their first priority was to combat the manifestations of polytheism, including Sufism. The group has killed more than 100 Christians, in church bombings and shootings in Sinai and other parts of Egypt, forcing many to flee the peninsula. The military has struggled to quell jihadists who pledged allegiance to IS in November 2014. Security forces are fighting the Egyptian branch of the Islamic State group in the Sinai Peninsula as regularly conducts attacks against soldiers and policemen in the peninsula bordering Israel and the Gaza Strip, although the frequency and scale of such attacks has diminished over the past year. The jihadists have since increasingly turned to civilian targets, attacking not only Christians and Sufis but also Bedouin Sinai inhabitants accused of working with the army. The Gaza Strip's border crossing with Egypt that had been due to reopen Saturday will remain closed until further notice because of the attack, a Palestinian official said. Aside from IS, Egypt also faces a threat from al-Qaeda-aligned jihadists who operate out of neighboring Libya. A group calling itself Ansar al-Islam Supporters of Islam in Arabic claimed an October ambush in Egypt's western desert that killed at least 16 policemen. Many of those killed belonged to the Interior Ministry's secretive National Security Service. The military later conducted airstrikes on the attackers, killing their leader Ahmad al-Din Abdelhamid, a most wanted jihadist who was a military officer before joining an al-Qaeda-affiliated group in Libya's militant stronghold of Derna. Sorry, we are not currently accepting comments on this article.